Welcome to the AI Research Roundup. I'm Alex. Today, we're looking at a paper from the Hugging Face trending list, published on August 13th, 2025. So just a few days ago. The big finding is that even when state-of-the-art models get the right answer, their reasoning is often flawed, with a gap of over 30% compared to humans. The paper is titled PRELUDE, a benchmark designed to require global comprehension and reasoning over long contexts, and it really puts current long context abilities to the test. This paper introduces a clever benchmark, where models must read an entire book and decide if a new prequel story is logically consistent with the original narrative. Alright, so this first figure really lays out the core idea. On the left, we see the task in action. The model gets the book The Count of Monte Cristo and then two different prequel stories for a character. It has to figure out which one is consistent and which one contradicts the main plot. Then, the chart on the right visualizes why this benchmark is different. You can see how Prelude, shown in purple, scores much higher on things like global dependency and reasoning depth compared to existing benchmarks, which highlights the gap it's designed to fill. This table then details the specific labels the human annotators use to create the benchmark. It's not just a simple, consistent, or contradictory judgment. The authors define different types of contradictions, from local ones, which are direct factual errors, to more complex global contradictions. An example of a global contradiction would be a prequel that clashes with the novel's established tone, like introducing magic into a realistic historical story. This fine-grained labeling is what forces the models to go beyond simple fact-checking. Moving to the results, this table compares different systems on a human-evaluated subset. At the very bottom, you can see the human performance, setting the benchmark with an F1 score around 82%. Now, looking at the models, even with techniques like retrieval augmented generation, or RAG, which lets the model look up parts of the book, the best systems still fall short. But the most telling part is the last column, labeled Reason. It shows that even when models get the answer right, their reasoning accuracy is dramatically lower, dropping into the 40s, while humans score 79. This bar chart really visualizes that reasoning gap we just saw in the table. For each model tested, the light blue bar represents the accuracy of the final answer, while the orange bar shows the accuracy of the reasoning used to get there. And for every single model, you can see a dramatic drop from the blue bar to the orange one. Then, if you look all the way to the right, the human performance bars are nearly the same height, which is a stark contrast. This visual really underscores that models are often guessing correctly, without true understanding. So to wrap up, the Prelude benchmark reveals that current models still lack true global comprehension. The most critical takeaway is the huge gap between a model's ability to produce a correct answer and its ability to reason correctly, a gap that humans don't have. That's it for this episode of the AI Research Roundup. I'm Alex. Thanks for listening.